How's it going, everyone? So, with Chapter 8, Volume 4 of RWBY coming out recently, and now that Chapter 9 has been released, the recent lore and backstories that we've gotten on the gods and the relics has gotten me to think a little bit more about Salem. And this video right here is kind of my theory video on who I think Salem might be. Maybe not who, but basically where she comes from. So, as we got in Chapter 8, we know that there's this backstory with these two gods, the God of Light and the God of Darkness. So, we know that the God of Darkness created Grimm. So, going along those lines, my theory for Salem is, what if Salem is somehow related to the God of Darkness? So, she could be a descendant of the dark god, a distant relative. I'm not technically sure. This is not like 100% like true. This is just me speculating right now. It's just me getting a theory out there and just want to hear from you guys what you guys think, because Salem has been a mystery ever since the beginning of RWBY. Salem has been this character that has been introduced in the first episode when she was giving this narration of the world of Remnant, how humans came to be. So we know that she's quite knowledgeable about the overall world of Remnant and how humans came into existence. So we know that she has a deep, deep knowledge of the world of Remnant. And as going along with the world of Remnant, there was a specific volume, I believe it might have been volume 2, where she was giving us a little backstories when we got the World of Remnant videos. She was narrating those as well. So we know that she is knowledgeable about this world. And then we got the big reveal at the end of volume 3, where Salem got introduced. This is the main antagonist for the series of RWBY, and we finally get introduced to this new character, and we still, being within Volume 4, we still don't know a lot about Salem. All we know is that she's very human-like. She looks like a human. She has, she walks on 2 legs. She has 2 arms. She has ghostly white skin. So she has that. She has black veins either on her face or on her arms. And she has this, like, kind of like cloudy black dress that kind of just drapes and drags across the floor, makes it seem like she's floating. But then she also has these red and black eyes. So she has human features, but she doesn't appear human. She doesn't have the natural human characteristics, or just like Faunus are humans, but they just have animal characteristics. She is different entirely, to where her skin is this ghostly white and has these red and black eyes. Her eyes are almost like Tokyo Ghoul-like eyes. She's like a ghoul in a way. So she's got this very different physique to her, and so we know that she's different from everyone else. We just don't know how different. As I was saying, Chapter 8 gave us this huge knowledge drop of this information of these two gods, of the God of Light and the God of Darkness. So this backstory on these two brothers let us know that the God of Destruction created the Grimm. So the Grimm came into existence after the God of Darkness was tired of the God of Light bringing in creation, and his anger and his want for destruction led to the creation of Grimm. So these Grimm, they seek out those emotions, those negative emotions, because they want to basically destroy and wreak havoc upon the world. So they want destruction, and then what we know right now is Salem is able to control the Grimm. To what we have been seeing in Volume 4 is she has these pools that create the Grimm. So wherever she is, her lair may be, or wherever she is located within the world of Remnant, even if she is a part of the world of Remnant, if not another dimension, she has these pools that create Grimm, and that she can create them whenever she pleases. But she also is able to control them in some way, because there's this jellyfish-like Grimm that she can, like, it comes to her beck and call whenever she needs it, and she's able to let it tell commands to the forces that she has. So we know that she has some sort of control over the Grimm, and she knows about the relics. So this goes back into her deep knowledge of the world of Remnant. So if she knows all about the world of Remnant and the RWBY verse in general, she probably had stories when she was younger about the relics, the gods, the maidens. So that's probably how she knows all about this. So she's grown up knowing about these fairy tales, so to speak. So everyone else knows them as fairy tales, but to her, they might have been actual stories of what has been going on in the real world. And so knowing about the gods, the relics, and the maidens leads me into this theory is, what if Salem is actually a descendant of these gods, or specifically the God of Darkness? So Salem could be from a long line of descendants that have basically come from the God of Darkness. And I kind of draw this theory from Greek mythology. Much like in Greek mythology, the gods would come down from their heavens or Mount Olympus, and they would come down and impregnate mortals, or depending on if they were male or female, male gods would come down and impregnate female mortals, while female gods would come and get impregnated by male mortals. And what this would do is this would create offspring that were kind of half gods and half mortals. So what if Salem, in a way, falls into that category where she is like this divine creature to where she's half and half? But it's something that got me thinking about since they actually brought religion into the world of Remnant, because religion has been something that hasn't really been brought up until last chapter. And religion is something that could tie things together in this world, and it just shows that there's this wider scope to look at than just the fairy tales and then just the humans and Faunus roaming about Vale and Vacuo and Atlas. So there's a much bigger world to explore here. And I also know that the RWBY team, as well as Rooster Teeth that work on RWBY, like to draw inspiration from fairy tales and other ancient myths. And this might be a little off topic, but before I'm actually making this video, I actually jotted down the notes of Dorothy and the Wicked Witch, because I kind of view Salem as this Wicked Witch type character. Like if you look at the Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch is after Dorothy, who has ruby slippers. And then if you look at Salem, she is this Wicked Witch type character who has her own flying monkeys, in a way, being the Grimm, how she can just command them and send them out into the world. And Salem is after Ruby Rose. And the only reason I make that connection is because the Wicked Witch was after Dorothy, who had ruby slippers. And the only reason I'm making that connection is the whole Ruby part. Salem is very interested right now with Ruby Rose, just with the fact that she was able to incapacitate Cinder during the fall of Beacon. So until we get presented with more information about Salem's character and where she might have come from and her backstory, this whole theory could get debunked, which I wouldn't care if this theory got debunked. I'm just making this as a fun little video. I hope you guys are just as excited I am to learn more about Salem, because she's a very interesting character. I'm the type of person that looks at villains. I love great villains, and so far she's been very ominous and very menacing just from the scenes that we've gotten with her, and I'm really excited to see more of her. So my question to all of you right now is, where do you think Salem is? And where do you think she comes from? What do you think her backstory may be? Could my theory be right, or could it be wrong? And what are your theories containing to Salem? And if you have any other theories of RWBY that you would like to share, you can just leave that in the comments below, and we can just speculate back and forth about Salem, where she might come from. And if it doesn't deal with Salem, it could be a totally different theory. We can just discuss that in the comments below. And also, guys, I'm going to be making a lot more RWBY content. I know I'm doing some live reactions and reviews to the chapters, but I'm also going to be adding these type of videos as well, just adding my theories and speculations. So if you want to keep up to date with that RWBY content, you can just subscribe to my channel. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys are all having a great day no matter where you are. And until my next video, I'll talk with you guys all later. All right, see you guys.